It's time for Waking Up with Wesley. Today's forecast and weather-wide discussion with WLOX First Alert Weather's senior meteorologist, Wesley Williams.
Waking Up with Wesley is sponsored by Exclusive Auto Brokers. For the best deals on wheels, visit Exclusive Auto Brokers on Beatline Road in Long Beach.
All right, good morning everyone, and thank you for waking up with Wesley. I'm Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. We'll take a look at what to expect today. I know some of you might be hoping for rain, and I have a small amount of hope in the forecast as far as rain's concerned today. Let's take you right to the map and show you what's happening. So as we take a look at the Mississippi portion of the map here, what you'll notice is this area, this cluster of showers and storms not too far from Jackson, that might try to drift generally to the south before falling apart this morning. So there we go to 10 o'clock this morning, still see that off toward our northwest. Go to 1 in the afternoon and it's gone. But here's the thing, some of the energy associated with that is still going to be on this part of the map and is still going to be generally moving toward the south. So watch this kind of zone if I pull this down just a little bit more and watch what happens between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. We begin to see the beginnings of some spotty showers there. 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. we continue to see some showers and storms forming in that general zone of parts of Louisiana and southern Mississippi. So don't be surprised if we see some rain happening there. This is a look at the rain forecast for today, which is going to show parts of Louisiana, parts of Mississippi with the potential to see some rain heading into parts of Tuesday. So as that information loads, the last time I saw it, it showed this green color on the map for Louisiana. Okay, it's finally loaded there. Green color on the map for Louisiana and Mississippi, and we can see that there. This area that could possibly have some isolated showers and storms. Now you'll notice if you look closely, where do we see the majority of this concentrated? And it does appear to be just to the west of our Mississippi coast. So we might not get the bullseye of the rain today compared to a place like Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Their chance for rain today higher, Mississippi coast chance for rain lower, relatively speaking. Here's one thing that we can use to watch why this rain is happening. It's the water vapor. This shows the airflow in the jet stream upstairs in the air. And it's easy to see that giant swirl off to our east. You can see the winds coming down and going in a counterclockwise fashion over here. That's an upper low sitting off toward the east coast. And we have counterclockwise circulation around lows, and what that is doing is helping to pull down just a little piece of energy that might help to spark those mainly Louisiana showers today. You can actually see that energy in the form of this burst of moisture. Watch on the loop. Here it comes down right about there. And so as of Tuesday morning, it's situated in central Mississippi. That little piece of energy that will continue to move toward the south and eventually try to perk up a few new showers and storms heading into Tuesday p.m. that we just went over on the Futurecast. Again, the majority of those will probably take place to the west of the Mississippi coast based on the latest information from the computer modeling, in addition to the latest trends that we are watching on First Alert radar. You know, we could actually use some rain since some places haven't seen rain in more than 2 weeks here on the Mississippi coast. One of those places is the Gulfport Airport. It's where we keep the weather records for each day. And they've gone 17 days now with no rain, no measurable rain in the bucket. There actually was a trace of rain there last Friday, but it was not even enough to amount to 1/100th of an inch of rain. How do we stack up with the longest rain-free streaks for the Gulfport area? Well, we haven't even cracked the top 5 with a 17-day stretch. We'd need 10 more days with no measurable rain to even get to the top 5, joining 2007 and 2010 with a 27-day-long rain-free streak, at least at one point during those years. The record holder is 2019. Now, these records only go back to the 1990s, so a shorter period of record, but based on the last 20 to 30 years, the year with the longest rain-free streak in Gulfport was 2019, when there was a 35-day stretch with no measurable rain in the Gulfport airport area. And this is only going to, as we see the streak of rain-free weather continue, this is only going to make the drought worse. So you're looking at the latest drought monitor. This map was updated last Thursday with this new information showing stage 1 drought everywhere and a stage 2 drought in areas near Bendale. The map will come out again on Thursday. The data in that map will end from this Tuesday. So it takes them about 48 hours to create the map. And so basically the people at the drought monitor, what they're going to do is today is the final day of the next week's drought monitor. So once whatever weather happens today, once today is over, then Wednesday starts, and they're going to take a look at this past, at today and 7 days ago, and take a 7-day stretch of weather, compile a new map on Wednesday, and then release that map on Thursday. So that gives you an idea how that works. Let's take a zoomed in look at Futurecast. This morning, it's a beautiful morning. If you got plans to be out and about, we have picture perfect weather for Tuesday morning, and then we will eventually see some pop-up showers and storms. So even though we might not get most of that rain that we mentioned a few minutes ago that might target Louisiana, we could actually see our own pop-up showers and storms just because we have a sea breeze that might get going today. So we'll see if we can get some of those to form. You know, sometimes they miss you, but sometimes you're one of those lucky few that can manage to get some of these isolated showers and storms. I will say the majority of the rain today, your better chances probably going to be toward the west of Highway 49. So places like Pearl River County, Hancock County, maybe near Wiggins and near Saucier and near Gulfport, Long Beach, past Christian. Those could be places that have that, you know, the better part of that 10 to 20% rain chance. There are other places that might not manage to get even that, and maybe your chance for rain is in the lower part of that 10 to 20%. That will be closer to Biloxi, D'Iberville, St. Martin, Ocean Springs, as well as Goshen and Pascagoula and Moss Point, Van Cleve, Lucedale, Bendale, those places in George and Jackson counties with the kind of lower end of today's rain chances. So here's what it looks like in your planner today. Looking at the beautiful sunshine this morning. Eventually, even though the temperatures have been pretty nice this morning and comfortable, we will see them heating into the lower 90s by this afternoon. We'll call it upper 80s, lower 90s for a high. And in general, that's not too far from normal for temperatures this time of year. So there's a look at your forecast for this Tuesday. Plenty of sunshine. Can't rule out a few isolated showers and storms, primarily in the PM hours. And temperatures reach the upper 80s, lower 90s. Again, tonight we'll see another nice round of temperatures overnight in the 60s and 70s. And the best part about our 7-day forecast is we don't find any threat of any type of tropical weather, any significant tropical weather. It looks like we are going to coast through the next 5 to 7 days with little to no tropical weather. Speaking of the tropics, we can briefly touch on those. Here's what we're watching. There's 2 areas that are being tracked in the eastern Atlantic. One of them is known as Tropical Wave Invest 92L. 92L is likely going to become a depression or storm, and the other area behind it has a little bit of a lower chance to develop as of now. But like I said, no local tropical weather is expected here over the next 5 to 7 days. And hurricane season is still near its peak, so we should not be surprised to see some activity somewhere in the Gulf, Caribbean, and Atlantic. We can take you to the map to show you as far as what's going on right now in the tropics. We mentioned those 2 areas, and you can see them here on the map now. The one in red, that's 92L with the high chance to become a depression or storm, and then the one behind it in yellow near the Africa coast with a low chance to become a depression or storm. Here's a more zoomed in map of 92L. We'll focus on that one because it has the highest chance to develop. We'll let you see the satellite full screen. It sure has the look, right? Look at that satellite presentation. I see some upper outflow on that. So the shear is working with this. Some of those upper cloud tops are being sheared back toward the east here. We also can kind of see some of the upper shear If I'm looking closely, I do see it kind of coming down, so it's got that kind of outer feathered edge look. So it's got good ventilation, meaning that will help the circulation to keep going. The thunderstorm outflow won't get in the way. The clusters of thunderstorms won't get in the way of the system trying to form. And the pressure has actually dropped. So the National Hurricane Center has now dropped the pressure down to 1,007 from 1,008 millibars. So that is an indication that this might be about to get a little bit stronger there. It certainly has a lot of concentrated thunderstorm activity, and we'll see if a wind circulation might get closed off and a well-defined center, if that forms. Those will be the things you need to see in order for the National Hurricane Center to go ahead and declare this a depression or name it a storm. Gabrielle is the next available name on the list, by the way. So here's a look at the futurecast with tropical wave Invest 92L. And you'll notice that the computer modeling shows a pretty decently organized system there, maybe a depression, maybe a storm as we go from today to tomorrow. And it continues to move toward the north and west. And eventually, this is as far out as this model goes into the future. By Thursday night, you can see it's located still well to the east of the Lesser Antilles. Over 800 miles away. The Lesser Antilles is this chain of islands right here, the smaller islands on the eastern edge of the Caribbean. But that's the possible tropical system located more than 800 miles away, and it looks like it's kind of on a track toward the north. It's not going due west there. We can even take a look at the rest of the computer models, and you'll notice that once that possible system is located, like we mentioned, about 800 miles to the north and east of the Lesser Antilles, where does it go from there? Does it just go straight off to the west? Probably not. Most of the lines are not pointed that way. Most of the lines are concentrated about like this. So that would be perhaps the most likely track for Invest 92L, or if it becomes a depression or storm, for that system to take a track up toward the north and the west. So at this moment in time, it does not really appear to be like it's a credible threat to our Gulf Coast region. But of course, as we are near the peak of hurricane season, we watch anything that's trying to form. But like I said, no local concerns tropics-wise for the next 5 to 7 days. We're just focused on a pretty consistent pattern here with nice mornings, hot afternoons, not much hope for rain and the drought getting worse. But the chance for rain today is actually one of your better chances on the 7-day forecast if you want to be technical about it. All the chances are low, but today's the highest of those low chances at about 10 to 20%. Well, that'll do it for today's edition of Waking Up with Wesley. I've been Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. We'll see you again next time.
Waking Up with Wesley has been sponsored by Exclusive Auto Brokers. For the best deals on wheels, visit Exclusive Auto Brokers on Beatline Road in Long Beach.